Good morning, good morning, good morning. Optimal Sports Prep News family. How's everyone day going? Hope that everyone is having a phenomenal morning. Today, man, we got some really special guests for you guys today. Um, that'll be joining us later. Right now, we're gonna just talk about little football. Talk about a little football teams in the past that have been um, front runners, shall we say? Got teams that have been pretty good over the past few years that we just expect these things from them. So as usual, we'll start in 5A. And as I said in basketball toward the end of the season last year, you can't talk about 5A sports and not mention the Zachary Broncos, Coach Dave Brewerton. I think he has 3 of the last 5 or 6. Zachary has been very good. They trust their process of having the best of the best um, in coaching, playing, training, skill development from a football standpoint. And so therefore Zachary is Zachary is what it is. You just can't overlook that. Again, they've been one of the best. Another team that we would be remiss about not mentioning are the Westmorel Rebels. And as of late, they haven't been winning the state championships, um, but they had a good run for a really long time, some time back. Um, I'll probably uh, upset some people with this one, but this one probably is personal because it means a lot to me. Uh, they had a really great season last year under first year head coach Todd Garvin at Washita, and now they lost a few players, but they did a great job at improving from one year to the next. So in that point, you expect for the Washita Lions football team to be better this year than they were last year. Um, Coach Garvin is a stickler for the little details, and he gives his players a lot of watching a couple of his practices last year. He gives his players a lot of leeway to just be themselves and be in the moment or the ability to just make plays. Another school that's man, they've been really good over the last 4 years under head coach Marcus Randall, and that's the Woodlawn Panthers of Baton Rouge. Again, it started when Coach Randall took over the helm as head coach. He was what Woodlawn needed a fresh dose of good energy, a guy that's played the game at the highest level, a guy that had name recognition to build the fan base back up, and they've done all that over the years, and now it's super imposed into what made them the district champs for five 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 A. That was in a very tough district with the Catholic Baton Rouge Bears, uh, East Ascension Spartans, McKinley Panthers, That was a really tough district. Saint Amant, Dutchtown, um, guys came out and played though. Another team under Coach Matt McCullough, K-Dana Wrecking Rams. I think they have two or three over the last few years. Coach Matt waited on his opportunity to get back at the helm on the football side of things. Um, for those of y'all that know about Acadiana High School, he was the head baseball coach forever, super successful. A lot of people wondered how would he do, how would he fare in taking over the football program. Well, he's shown you he's as advertised. He's just a really good coach that does a really good job of motivating his players. Parkway, Parkway. I always have really, really great seasons, um, and it just seems to sputter out. Captain Shreve lost their general, Coach Sepulveda. Not got to see how the new look Gators are gonna look at Captain Shreve. So we also got to have to mention Destrehan and again East Ascension under Coach Darnell Lee, and we can't. You can never count Saint Amant out, man. Coach Oliver, he has the tools. They do a really good job over there preparing those kids at Saint Amant as well. So, and then you have to look at the fact that I think it is Parkway Shreve will be on the Division One side of sports now. So we'll see, man. This new redistricting that they did, um, that's gonna tell a story for a lot of schools, a lot of teams. Uh, how will you compete? How will you compete? How will you get out there and fight? My guy says this all the time. Some things, some quotes will preach every day of the week, and competing is one that will preach every day of the week. Like if you can get out there and compete, then good things happen. And we forget the football games that happen on Friday night. The getting better and competing happens in practice every single day, every single day, every single rep, every single drill. That's where competition begins. First competition always begins at home at your front doorstep. Always. So those are some of your 5 way. Um, and, oh, I'm sorry. Forgive me, Ash. Um, Ash over the last few years have been really good, as well as Southside. Southside is steadily growing in their football program, and I think it's just Southside's third year in varsity sports. So we'll see, man. Again, 4A, man, Edna Carr, Bryce Brown. They've been the cream of the crop, but they're going to Division One now as well. Do I need to say it? Okay, since you're pulling my leg on it, Eastern Eagles, pretty good at football. Man, you know this one here just probably burns me up to say it, but they have a really good coach that in his I think he's going into his second, third year. Uh, Coach Jeff Tannehill is trying to get the Neville Tigers back in the state championship hunt, and it's never easy. It's never easy thing when you had to play, against the Warren Eastons and the Edna Carrs and schools of that nature. Um, Another team that said, "Okay, we're here, we're gonna see," and that's Coach Ryan Antoine's Westgate Tigers. We talked a little bit about them on yesterday, and hey, when it was all said and done, Westgate Tigers were your 4A state champions. Beat a very good Edna Carr team on the road, then turn around and go to Poydras and beat uh, a very good Warren Easton team that was essentially a home game for Warren Easton, being in the Superdome, in their home city. It probably was a million people cheering for Easton, because they had been every year having to face the juggernaut that's called the Edna Carr Cougars. So hey, we'll see. The pickings have been slim in 4A, man. It's either been Easton, Carr, or Neville. Like they've been on the top of the hill for a long time. They've been there a long time, just going about their business, kicking butts and taking names. And again, we have a couple of these schools, Huntington, all of the Shreveport area schools, no matter their classification, will be going to the private side, select side of high school sports starting this year. And some of the volleyball and soccer programs, no matter what their classification was, were already in Division 1 side or whatever. So that's not gonna make much of a difference in those non-traditional sports. 3A, man, you talk about 3A. You got to mention Lee Doty and the Sterlington Panthers. They've done a phenomenal job at being great. How will this one is key because just 3 years ago they were the high school state champions. How will the St. James Wildcats look under their new first year head coach as Coach Robert Valdez moved on up to the college ranks at Grambling State University? Congrats to Coach Valdez. And I hope that things go really great for him. Great coach, great guy. Uh, hey, can't leave these guys out, man. We're gonna come back to them though. Hey, Coach Rich, shout out to Coach Rich, man, over there at Donaldsonville. Donaldsonville been up and down, up and down. They had some coaching staff changes, so it was kind of like a snake, man. One minute they're flowing, and then maybe a rock or a boulder gets in the way, and they gotta go maneuver around it. But Coach Rich always figures it out. Coach Richardson does a really good job motivating those kids over there. Another team that you can't go without mentioning is the Union Parish Farmers. They probably have the best running back in the state, that's coming back for his senior year. Kid has been unmovable since becoming a high school student athlete. How will the Cal Bulldogs fare under their new first year head coach? Westmorel Wildcats also have a new first year head coach in the Monroe area, and looking at this, just trying to figure it out. That team, they're that team. Uh, they always try to figure it out, and so as we're about to talk about them, let's bring this guy in, my guy. he's smooth, he's suave, and he's debonair. Please welcome Coach Landry Williams, Madison Prep Chargers football. What's up, Coach?
Hey, what's going on, man? You doing all right?
Oh yeah, great, man. You looking good now, man. You looking good. Yeah, the standard is high and everything at Madison Prep, man.
It's high, man. The standard is the standard.
Work
hard. You gotta be, you gotta be the model. You gotta be the model. So my guys, my staff been working real hard. So hopefully we'll be able to have a good season this year.
You know, Coach, every year we talk, you say something similar to I hope we be able to have a good season. And y'all just keep like when you keep funneling guys to high major D1 schools, man, like that's not a hope. That's let's see how the work goes and punch somebody in the mouth real quick so we can go do our job. Man, how have you been able to just keep pulling it off, man?
Definitely my coaching staff really they work hard. They understand the philosophy of what we're trying to do as a team, and they really put the work in. They build the relationships with our players. And we have good players. They're young, they work hard. And it's good to have a coaching staff that match that. You know what I'm saying? That have high expectations of the kids, and that's willing to put the time in, go a little above and beyond to make sure that they reach those kids, and not just on the field but off the field as well.
Man, you lose a guy to graduation. He's going to play at one of the top 3 colleges over the last 10 years in LSU, and Quincy Wiggins. What was it like to coach a guy like Quincy, man, who seemed like if he eats something, a muscle develop from it. If he walk too long, a muscle develop from it. And he was a kid that came in green as a blade of grass.
I'm about to say he came in green, but he had to want to,
Right.
Once he came out, he was committed to the process. It was 7 days a week for him, and in his show, down the road, you see now he's trying to get in the rotation at LSU. I was able to see him in the spring game, participate in the spring game. So it really makes you feel well as a coach to see a young man, go in, work hard, really put the work in, and achieve that much success in a short period of time. And that's amazing. But when you have a 6'7", 275 body frame, that's going to draw a lot of attention with. He's saying that with not a lick of fat on him.
Right.
Definitely going to draw a lot of attention.
And I think the really great thing for me that happened for Quincy was, again, he came in green as a blade of grass. Then he has a major injury, but I never seen him not happy, never seen him not willing to do whatever it was to get back healthy. And he didn't fool around with it. Like, he got back to work as soon as he could, and was even better. Like, man, most kids, like, I talked to a coach a couple of weeks ago, and he said, man, injury showed him that basketball wasn't for him because he couldn't do without being able to play.
Yeah. It's funny, like I said, he had no intentions on playing football, which was driving me crazy as a coach. Walking seeing somebody like that on your campus and he's not playing sports. I mean, not playing football. But as soon as he came out, he fell in love with it. And then from that point, he just took off. The opportunity started taking off. Actually, I was telling scouts, I was like, hey, I got a kid, but he hadn't played yet, So I was saying, but as soon as I see him, hit that point where I can reach out to you, I'm definitely going to reach out to you. And he did. The spring game, I got on the phone and say, hey, down here, or you might not get a chance to see him again, But it's just good to be at a program where you appreciate it and have guys that come in and really have the same passion as a coach that they have as a player. And it just meshed real well. And to see them achieve the success, man, it's just overwhelming joy for a coach,
Right. We're talking about Quincy, man, and let's just give let's give the viewers a little something that they don't normally get to hear, see, or comprehend, because we don't have a lot of guys that are 5 stars in football, that goes high major every single year. And so LSU gets a new head football coach in Brian Kelly, coming from Notre Dame, a highly polarized school, and now he wants to try his hand at LSU. What was the first initial meeting like with him and Quincy and yourself?
Uh, he came in like so we right down the street from Miller, and it was good to see him pull up. He pull up on us and like, hey, I hear I got a player that we need to look at. And as soon as I brought him out, his eyes was like, man, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just the stature, like I say, he's 6'7", 275 with little or no body fat on him. And coach was like, and then you got to understand, Quincy persona is real,
Yeah.
like he's focused all the
Right.
time, like high intent every time. Like it's okay to smile, Quincy. It's all right. You know what I'm saying? You can enjoy the moment, but he's always just an intense guy, and the seriousness of it. And I think as soon as Coach Kelly saw that, he was like, "Oh yeah, this is the kind of guy I want in my program." And not to mention no behavior, no behavior issues,
Right.
you know, everybody spoke highly of his character and stuff like that. So it didn't take much to sell him once he laid eyes on him.
Right. Man, I'm. Again, have known Quincy his entire high school career. Like you said, I remember him as a young freshman. Hadn't got the height and size yet, but he was just even playing for Coach Jones. Big solid kid. He was that guy that was going to be in the paint, enforcing, making
That's
sure
right.
if you came through that lane,
Charles Oakley. He was the Charles Oakley of the Master Prep basketball team.
yeah, you better have your shoulder pads on when you come
Right.
through there, because Quincy was physical, and I think that's been the best attribute that a man of his size can have, is to be already physical in a game that requires brute physicalness.
Exactly.
So what was the summer like for y'all, Coach? What'd you guys do?
Uh, we lost 25 seniors. So we probably replacing them. My offensive line is consist of one senior, a junior, and 2 freshmen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
and and a sophomore. So we real young up front that rotates in. And man, we just put a lot of work in those guys. We had a good spring scrimmage against St. Aug, which kind of built a little momentum going into the summer. So hopefully we can come out. We have Catholic High this Thursday at Catholic at 5:30. So hopefully, playing top level teams. There's in the state championship every year.
Right.
You want to build a program like that. So the only way for your guys to actually see what it looked like is to continue to play teams of that caliber each and every week. So
Right.
We got our work cut out for us, but I think if we can if we get the momentum going this year, it's going to be real great for the future. Because we any young freshmen. I think we're playing maybe six freshmen on both sides of the ball, pretty much. So we might maybe
Right.
three to I'm saying probably about 4 or 5 on the offensive side, 4 to 5 on the defensive side, which is the team is real young. That's the bad news, because the injuries and stuff like that really makes it crazy if you're playing a young team already. But if you can pull it off, it really just help shoot your program to a next level. So that's the goal, is to come out, get those guys to play and mature, and hopefully make that big run down the stretch. These games here, the early games, they're just getting you ready for what's to come. We have plans on making a run for the state title. So to do that, you got to get your guys to see what perseverance feel like, and to go through it each and every day, because perseverance, it makes men. You know what I'm saying? It builds character, it makes men. And like I said, if we can get through this thing, okay, I think I like my chances once we get down to week 10 and go into those last 5 games of the playoffs championship.
Hey, how do you spoke of having a really young, inexperienced offensive line? How do you increase the learning curve for those guys playing a really tough schedule that really a lot of coaches when they have a young offensive line, especially in non-district games, they want to play a few games that helps bolster the confidence of their young players. Don't start playing, coach. No, how do you do that though? How do you increase their IQ, knowledge, strength, all those little things that make playing in the trenches not only fun but rewarding and dominating through offensive pancakes?
Well, it starts in the weight room. I mean, this summer we had probably about 90%, 95% of attendance each and every day. And that's 5 o'clock in the morning, toes on the line, getting it, stretching and
Right,
ready to go. So I think that kind of start. You come in with a high expectation. This is what it is. If you can, this might not be for you,
right,
and this might not be, the program for you. And we just, again, my coach, we put the time in the weight room, the film time, individual drills, just kind of get them to understand of it, the logic of it and the expectation of it. And again, it's not for everybody, I just don't play freshmen. That's freshmen. I play freshmen because they can play.
right, right,
Uh, we work hard, and I'd rather them young. Every coach around going to rather a kid that's young because you have, years to come with him, future years with him. So, man, it's a work and it's a headache and some things that you got to live with because, hey, they're going to make some mistakes. And you got to
right.
be, as a coach, to live with those mistakes and even put your record on the line. I'm not scared to lose a game. I'm looking for the experience of it, more than the wins and losses. I want them to have the experience. I want them to say, well, I played this kid that was going to Tennessee at Woodlawn, or I played this young man that was going to Catholic High. That went to Catholic High that's going to LSU. I want my guys to have that experience later on in life so they can look back and think about how they, how magnificent their football career was at Madison Prep. Their coach allowed us to play top level teams week after week. And it's good for the character building. It's good for molding our young men, and it's also good barbershop talk later on.
Man, man, that was a good one right there, Coach.
Yeah, the barbershop talk later.
Because like, well, again, I hadn't had to go to the barber shop in quite some time. But when I was taking my son, man, the conversations are so great in the barbershop, especially about prep football, man. Like it's a lot of prep football fans across the state of Louisiana, especially in the Baton Rouge area when you have powerhouses like Madison Prep, Catholic Baton Rouge, even though McKinley may be down right now, you're going to be sore as all get out on a Saturday morning after playing a McKinley.
Yeah.
After playing a Woodlawn Baton Rouge,
Oh yeah, you're gonna feel it.
under Coach Marcus Randall, who's come in and he's changing the landscape of what 5A football is right now.
Yes.
I think you're going to have to go through Woodlawn Baton Rouge to get to Partridge Street in 5A this year.
Oh yeah, that's safe to say. That's really safe to say. Marcus is doing
Yeah,
a great job over there. Him and Tremont Douglas, those guys from my neighborhood, we grew up together. They're like my little brothers over there, and they really put the work in. They
right.
look at kids real hard and deeply, and they look at building those relationships with those kids, not just to make them good on the field, but just make them men, just good character guys that
Right.
that's going to be successful in our community. He building those kind of kids and that kind of program over there. So that's real important for our community.
I talked about this earlier, Coach. Woodlawn was on they had crashed already. Like they just weren't a good football team, and they needed to bring a guy in like Coach Randall, who had the name flair, who already was a proven winner. And so I'm really happy for Woodlawn Baton Rouge,
No
man.
doubt.
They deserve it. They
No doubt.
deserve it. And that, they went from having no fan base to now having a booster club that's active every week and bringing something new
Right.
to Woodlawn football.
That's right.
They're supporting Coach Randall with every fiber of their being, and that's what you need in a program to win. That's why you guys are so successful there at Madison Prep, because it's not a football game that said Madison Prep on the jersey, or basketball. You guys do it in girls basketball. You guys do it in baseball.
Track.
Right, track. Like, it's not a sport there that doesn't have at least 75 to 100 parents at everything. Again, man, when you came on, and this is probably not a conversation we should have, but I'm gonna ask a question anyway. When you talk to Coach Jeff, when you were coming on, what was that conversation like in brand building?
Of course, me and Jeff go back since middle school. We since middle school, and
Glen kids.
and those kids, he told me what the expectation was. And hats off to Coach Roach. He program off to a great start. They were runner up the year that after I came, they were runner up.
Right.
But they lost a lot, so it was time to kind of like start the program over. He was leaving, he was moving on. He was retiring. So coming in, it just was important for us. And we understood. So we understand the work part into it. You have to put in the work. You have to be genuine. And parents see that.
Right.
They see that. And when they see that, it's easy for them to get that buy-in that you need to help build your program and to help brand your program. Because actually your parents are your biggest sellers to me.
Right.
The parents really help sell my program. When they're saying, you go over there, they treat your child right, they work your child hard, they're not just focused on sports, they focus on him graduating and going to college or whatever he decides to do. They support your child in every way. Not only at the school, they support my child at his local church or anything he's involved in. We over there.
And then y'all somewhat have a school bishop, a school general, and Pastor Eric Williams.
Great. All of that, like I said, all of that, it makes Madison Prep.
Yeah.
We all accessible. You can put your hands on us. You can call our cell phones. You can drop by practice. Like, nothing is closed. The door is always open. And I think that has been our biggest selling point, because a lot of things, we don't have the elaborate facilities and things like that. So a lot of stuff come off hard work, grit, and buy-in.
Right.
Buy-in. So that's how we kind of build our program here at Madison. And the pressure was on, because when you walk in the gym, that's all you see is probably like 8 championship banners hanging and runner-up banners hanging.
It's about 15 banners on one side and about 8 banners on the other one.
Constantly reminding you each and every day what the goal is. So,
and then I
be able to hang a banner, man. I was like, man, thank God, because I've been coming here every day looking at all your banners, and I have that to contribute. So that for us to win the championship and be able to hang a banner in the gym after watching it for the last 4 years since I've been, since I came, I think it was 4 years before we actually got it. And that was amazing. That was an amazing feeling, Now I'm just trying to hang some more up there and try to see if I can catch up with Jeff.
Right. Hey. Rome wasn't built overnight, but keep chopping wood, Coach.
Keep chopping wood.
That's a long road to hoe, but it can be done because Jeff did it.
Yeah.
And no one gave it to him. It was built through sheer hard work and dedication. When you think about And again, there's no disrespect to anyone. Um, and you guys, I think, are in Division 2 now. How does that change the course of what you guys do when those last 5 games come around?
I think they move us to select or whatever. But to be honest with you, man, I'm getting all of that. I play them as they come. I don't look down the road too far. I'm not no football analyst and all that. I play the next guy to show up on my schedule, and that's
Right,
and I think that's the best part of our team. We don't look down the road. We just stay in the moment. Stay in the moment. And we don't look at all the other political stuff, all the other stuff that's going on around the game. We just focus on what our role is.
right,
So I try not even look at that. I pick one opponent at a time, and that's the focus. We don't talk about nothing else during that week of preparation. We just don't even discuss it.
right,
The thing is, sometimes you can feel it, the anticipation building up for that other game, but you better not talk about it, and you better play your way through it. Represent how you ready to play that next game by how you playing the current game. You
right,
know, that has been our focus, and I love my guys for that. That's something that I think is hard to get young kids to buy in because they want to play the game that's popular, and sometimes they don't play the game right in front of their face.
right,
So to have my guys to be able to focus on the game, what's going on in the moment, and not working on what's going to happen in the future down the line. Because some of that stuff you can't control anyway.
right, right,
And some want to be on the schedule no matter what. So you can't hurry it along. You got to go through the process of it all. So I'm real excited. Uh, I have built some relationships, with some great coaches around the state. And I just, they know where to find me. And they know that, we don't run from nobody. We don't hide behind no record. And we want to get better each and every week. And whatever course may take for us to get on, to get better, that's the course we're taking.
right, right. Man, I'm really happy for all of the success you've had in your tenure as Madison Prep's football general. And the one thing that I can always count on is Coach Landry Williams is going to give back. He's going to have his kids prepared. They're going to not only look the part, but you're going to know that you have to strap it up, lace them up, and play full speed and go all out if you're going to beat the Madison Prep Chargers
That's it.
football team. So,
That's all you next. That's all you today,
hey, I generally would probably keep you about an hour. But school just starting across the state, across the country, and so in order for me to get you back again, I have to be mindful of my time early in the school year because you guys do have a lot going on. I want to shout out to my girl over there, Principal Welsh.
No doubt.
What was that they said? And remember the Titans, two big giants looking at each other. Attitudes reflect leadership.
That's it.
Principal Welsh has a great attitude, and it carries from principal to assistant principal and Coach Jones to every coach and student on staff. Everybody. You hardly ever go to Madison Prep and see a kid in distress. I know a few of the coaches and teachers at Madison Prep. You go there, you hardly ever see them in a downtrodden, distressed moment. It's attitude.
Yeah, it's a great day. Every day is a great day.
Right.
Every day is a great day. Hey man,
Hey,
appreciate you having me on. You always show me love. You always, so you can always put me to the side and I'm coming. Once you hit me up, I'm on my way, man. So I appreciate you.
I can't, and you know what, bro? I can't even lie about that, man. Like you told me from year one, when we met, you said, "Hey, man, if there's anything you ever need from Landry Williams, don't hesitate to call me." And you've been a man of your word about that. No matter where I see you at, we're gonna speak. We're gonna chop it up for probably 10, 15 minutes. And you know it's a no holds barred situation. And you know again, nothing about anybody else, but just about me. Building relationships with you men and women is the best part of what I do. I love the fact that I have friends that I made in this game as a media agent in a situation where especially most high school coaches, don't trust the media because no, it's just a real spill.
Oh yeah,
It seems to always have been an ulterior motive with the media, and I got coaches from across the state that call me just to say, "Hey man, how you doing? I'm just calling to check on you."
yeah.
Or every time I call them, if they don't pick up the phone, I know I'm going to get a call back shortly, and
Yeah.
that's just how it's been. And I'm trying to change the narrative on that. I don't have an ulterior motive. All I care about is creating lifelong memories for players, coaches, and parents alike. Where 20 years from now, your grandkids can come back and watch this.
Exactly.
I'm gonna do something real quick, Coach. Let me do. Can you trust me?
Yeah. What you got?
All right, let's go. Uh, Coach.
What's going on, man?
Hey, what up, baby? But yeah, I need to see that face, man.
Let me see. I'm not certain what's going on with the camera here.
Hit that camera button, man. Hit that camera button. I like the neon. What is that? Highlighter yellow tint you got up. But I need to introduce you to somebody real quick, my guy.
Hold on. I'm trying to get the camera. I'm not certain why my camera not showing, but let's see. You know, they got all this fancy stuff now. You know, I'm an old school coach, man. I don't know about all this stuff. So
Hey, there you go.
okay.
There you go. Hey, I can I say this?
You can say whatever you want to say, man.
Oh, it's my show, huh? My bad.
It's your show. Go do your thing, man.
Hey, Louisiana meet Georgia.
Okay.
What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Madison Prep Chargers football, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, meet Coach Winston Gordon, Hateville Charter Academy, Hornets, Atlanta, Georgia.
All right.
Welcome, man. Welcome. Look at hey, Prep News is always breaking barriers.
Yeah.
Always breaking barriers, man. Look, man, I've been say y'all, Coach, I know you seen me playing with my eyes, man, all interview. My allergies have been kicking my butt this morning. And so I really wasn't, feeling up to stuff this morning, and my passageways are blocked up, man. Hey, that energy. What they saying? Rick Flair used to say this. Jim Ross, business has picked up, baby. Man. Two guys, again, man, it's crazy how this media thing happens for me, because last year I was up here visiting. I helped take care of my dad here in the Atlanta metro area with my sister, and I was up here and I passed by this school on my left, and I said, man, I don't see no football. And then somebody told me that Hateville was the school. Say they were like that. And so I went over there, man, and I did my research and my homework, and me and Coach Gordon, we met, and we've been peas and carrots ever since, man. It's just, man, this is phenomenal for me, man. But I want to tell y'all this. I appreciate you men so much, bro. I want to start a Louisiana, Georgia, Alabama preseason prep classic, man. I'm need you men help to get this figured out, man. Cause I know Thompson High School, and I'm gonna try to get their coach on soon.
Mm-hmm.
They're going for 4 in a row this year in Alabama. The cream of the crop there. You know, Coach Gordon has a few state championships under his belt. You're a state championship coach. Man, we call it the Battle of the Champions preseason classic or something.
If you didn't know, Hobart, I played Thompson in 2017. They're 7A high school in Alabama. You know, they beat Hoover for the state championship just 2 years ago.
Yeah.
They beat me 21-20. That year they called back 5 touchdowns down there in Alabama. Yeah, so I played them in Alabama. We hadn't been able to get an Alabama team to play us because we're a little small 2A high school here. So a lot of people don't give us an opportunity to play us. So when we do get those opportunities with those out-of-state teams, we try to build those relationships to get it going. But it's been kind of hard to get them back on.
Shout out to Thompson, man. They're coming up here to Georgia this weekend to play Buford High School.
Right. Oh, okay. I heard of Buford.
And so that's gonna be a really good game, man. I'm gonna try to make that game. I had to go check on my dad on Friday too, so you know, I'm trying to make that game, man. But Coach Landry, look, hey, I really want y'all to think about that, man. Champions preseason prep classic. The only way I can make it happen is through you guys. And you know, we'll try to give out a few awards as OTBS is known to do. Try to feed some people, some teams, and maybe even help you guys out with a little gas money or something. Little gas money, little fuel. I probably can't pay y'all to come pay me then because I ain't got no dough like that. But once we get it all, once I get it all figured out, I kind of ran it by Coach Gordon already. He said he's willing to travel. Madison Prep has been known to travel. And I figure if we can make it work somewhere in the middle where it's kind of minimal cost for the people that are traveling, that we can do some really great stuff because Georgia has good football, Louisiana has good football, Alabama has good football. I just like to see it happen, man.
That sounds great. Yeah. That sounds great.
and you know, best high school commentator, broadcaster in the Tri-Metro states, off the bench sports, baby. We'll be there. You know. So, hey, Coach Landry, thank you, man. I really did want to introduce you guys, and I'll send you guys each other's contact if that's okay.
Okay, no problem.
And so, Coach Williams, we'll chop it up, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, it's a lot of love from Off the Bench Sports to Madison Prep. No we go way back, and so it'll always be love there. But I got to give Coach Winston all of his 30 minutes.
Coach, good luck on your season too as well, yeah.
Hey, good luck to you, brother. You're down in Baton Rouge, am I correct?
I'm in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, I've had a couple of players down there at LSU. I had Arden Key, who playing for the Jaguars now, and the kid that's there now is Xavier Carter. So I've sent 2 good pass rushers there the last 2 years. Last 4 or 5 years now. We've had a relationship. Me and Ed go back. He recruited me when I was in high school. He was at the University of Miami then. I'm originally from Florida, so I had a relationship with Ed Orgeron, you know, and I used to work the camps before the NCAA, the NCAA. Before they stepped in, so I would be down there with Falk, and all of us would come down there and work the camps in the summertime.
Okay.
So I used to come down there all the time, so I'm very familiar with Baton Rouge, man, and a couple of schools. We tried to get it with the lab school down there. We was about to play them a couple of years ago. Yeah. And something happened with the cycle of in Georgia, you have to sign 2-year deals. So when we was on our 2nd-year deal, they were still on some deal or contract that they had. We couldn't get it done. So
one right now just did it this year. So I'm here right now.
Yeah. So that'll be another thing in order to try to work out. If we on the different cycles, it's going to be hard to even play the game.
Right.
You're under contract for all your games. Like we just signed 2-year deals this year.
Yeah, the same with me. Same.
Yeah, so y'all on the same cycle.
So in 2 years, we should be able to make this happen.
Yeah, in 2 years you should make it happen.
And I'm good with waiting. Like again, this game of life teaches you patience like none other.
Yeah. And be it a charter school.
Guys at LSU as well, Major Burns and Quincy Wiggins.
Gotcha. Okay.
Whenever you're back in the boot, man, just send me a shout out.
I definitely will, man. I'll be down there when they play. I'll be in New Orleans when they play Florida State. I think it's Florida State down in New Orleans.
The first one.
Yeah. So I won't be actually in Baton Rouge, but I'll be in New Orleans for that game.
Okay.
So, but I try to get down there, man. And I may come back for the Southern game. I'm not for sure yet because I know Southern plays them as well.
Yeah.
And so I just try to get down there and see Xavier. But I'll definitely give you a call when I'm in the area.
All right. Appreciate it.
Let me tell you this too, Coach Gordon, before Coach Williams leaves. You know, Baton Rouge and LSU is only an hour and 7 minutes, and New Orleans is only an hour and 7 minutes away.
Yeah. I'm familiar. Like I say, we would sometimes we would fly there and drive down. So I'm definitely familiar with the distance, other than just flying right into Baton Rouge. And like I say, it's nothing for us to come there. So if we do get something worked out and we can come, we can get the money raised to come. Like that's not a real big issue here in the metro area. And then with the guys that we got playing pro ball, they step up and do certain things that we ask them to do too. So
okay,
so that's not a thing. So let's just try to work it out, be something good for the kids. Going forward into that, third year and try to get something going.
No doubt.
I love it. Off the Bench Sports Prep Classic coming soon.
Make it happen. I got it.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, Coach Williams.
I'm gonna leave that week open. First week open.
Hey, I'm gonna get with you guys off air and we'll see what's the best possible date before the season starts, like a jamboree, that we can get the games done and played within an hour. That way we maybe get 5 or 6 games done in a Friday afternoon, 5 or 6 on a Saturday or something, and just make it a big to-do, man.
I'm game. Like I said, and then the jamboree thing, I don't have no contract with nobody for no jamboree, so just hit me up.
All I know is the featured attraction is going to be the Madison Prep Chargers versus the Hateville Hornets. That's all I know. Hey, Cole, you know I try to get around to see everybody practice, man. I'm out there watching them practice yesterday in the rain, and every Hateville's been known for his smash mouth football, man. I don't know how this new thing gonna work for you, Cole.
We have to figure it out.
Hey, Coach Gordon loves being physical, man. So we're gonna see.
Okay. No doubt.
So, hey, thanks to Coach Landry Williams again, Madison Prep Chargers football, joining us right now. I think we might have went into his session a little bit. So, Coach, I hope that you can forgive me. Y'all know I love just my mouth should be called 7-Eleven. It never closes. Man. It's been a minute, so let's give him a little bio on Coach Winston Gordon real quick, a little bit, just a little bit. Give him enough to make him say.
Well, I've been here. I started this program in 2011, and it took us a couple of years to get rolling, but we've been pretty successful. We had about 6 or 7 region championships, state championship. We've now moved up to Class 4A from 2A. We still have the same amount of kids, but that's just what it is. We deal with the rules as they abound for any other sanctioned body, so that's not an issue for us. But I do think it hurts the other sports that are not as competitive as football is. But I think they'll get there eventually, or either they're going to drop the entire system back down to 2A because they're trying to balance the power. So I understand, what they're doing, and how they're doing it, but it is only football seems to be the problem that necessitates the policy. And I just think that when you look at correcting issues, you have to look at the entire situation, not just football.
Right.
Because we still have girls sports and things of that nature that's still out. Those things outweigh each other when you put them together.
Right. I agree 100%. And when you look at it again, so generally, and Louisiana did this year too. They took some of the schools that were charter schools or private schools or whatever, all those non-public school identities are, and they rearranged the classifications for certain schools. Like I think all but one of the schools in the Shreveport area went from non-select to select, which makes a big difference for some of those schools because on some of those schools on the public side, they were barely teetering on the side of being solid. And now they have to switch to the select side, which means that they have to play much tougher schools. And so we just don't know how that's gonna go. And I think that Executive Director Eddie Bonine with the LHSAA, he did the right thing by doing this, but it was just the few schools, in my opinion, that should have been left on the non-select side, even though they are charter or private schools. They just, like you said, they don't have the numbers and the quality of quality players to compete at that division side of what's Louisiana football is called. They have divisions 1 through 4 in football and classes 1A through 5A, which is the highest classification in Louisiana. So you have to be. I think that in these committees, when they do the redistricting and stuff, they need, like, they really need to just have some real high school football junkies or real high school sports junkies a part of that, because sometimes as directors and stuff, they're only looking at this part of it, but and not the part that really matters. That if teams are struggling to compete at one aspect, then moving them up doesn't help them.
Right.
That's only going to get some kids hurt.
I agree.
So what's spring been like for you guys? What was summer like, and how did you guys fare in the 7v7 competition that you played in over the summer?
Spring was fine. We went into the spring, played in the first jamboree here in Georgia. We set up jamboree with Carver, Atlanta, McEachern, Lithia Springs, Lovejoy, ourselves, and Pebblebrook. So all 6 of us got together, put a jamboree together where we played. They got 2 fields up there at McEachern, which is like a little mini college.
Right. I've been there before. So
we were able to set that up. Franklin and all of us coaches got together and did a good job of putting that together. And we all were able to make a little money off of that. And, so it was good. And it also gave a central location for the coaches, for college coaches to come and recruit in the spring, to go to one location and have all these teams there. So, and I was trying to tell them, I grew up in Florida, so we've always played in jamborees. So that's nothing new to me, but it is new to Georgia. So it was successful. I think a lot more teams are going to do that. And I've been encouraging our guys on the South side, let's get together and do something like that, and kind of keep the money there to draw the attention that would get the gate, that would take care of all of us if we just put it together. So,
and of course, I'll be grateful to work a deal out with you guys to be the media that broadcasts out there.
Yeah, most definitely.
So I believe I can accommodate 3 different fields in getting live broadcasts.
Right.
So
they Fulton County has a thing with Huddle and Pixelot. So those games stream. They have the system set up to stream those games, and I never didn't even know. So that's something they've been doing too. Here that I didn't know, that I just
Right.
found out. That through the National High School Football Network, it's in partnership with all of the states now. Now they do that.
Right.
I didn't know that. But you get a portion of the stream. So
Yeah.
whoever logs in to the actual stream. So it's kind of one of those situations now over where they're forcing the smaller guys to partner, or either to you almost have to broker out a situation to carve your own path like you're doing
Right.
in order to be successful, because the conglomerates are just taking over.
Oh, they're definitely they're doing a lot of collaboration, man. The software company that I use, they just partnered with Huddle as well.
Yeah.
So it's really tough, man. But again, I just haven't done it, but I have the ability to be a pay-per-view entity. But again, I understand the process of making money and profit sharing and all that, man. But that's not why I started.
Right.
And again, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should.
Right.
And I keep asking communities across several states to step in and take care of your own.
Yeah.
Take care of your own, and you won't have to worry about big business telling you what your kids need to do.
Right.
Period. Take care of your own. Again, I said this yesterday while talking to Coach. If even if you don't go to your game in your local area, if you know you got kids coming up through there and this, that, and the third, man, drop off $10 on a Friday night, or drop off the $7 for a volleyball game on a Monday and Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday, or basketball season Monday, Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Drop off that $8, man.
Right.
You like, we waste so many dollars till it's just not funny. But get mad when a kid don't have what they need to be successful in the classroom or at their respective sporting event.
Right.
If we do our job, they can do both. They can be successful in the classroom and in their athletic endeavor. So that's what that is. But again, we can't keep saying, "Oh, our kids need this," but they got to make backroom deals to get that.
Right.
It don't make sense to me. So take care of your own in your own community, and watch how your school grows.
Right.
Be it whether it's your alumni or not. Take care of your own.
I agree.
What was the process, Coach, of building this upcoming season schedule? What went into your thought process based on what you lost, what you were returning, and how that would mesh up to come out on an even keel to where you don't have, because again, you are a uber competitor. Like you want your kids to compete in every process, every step of the process of getting better. And that's what all I heard yesterday, not only from you but your coaching staff, in, hey, do this and do this and do this, but it was all about competing. What's that process like for you all?
Well, we thrive on that here. Nothing is given. We have that hard hat mentality. Our kids come to work every day. We have that mantra of we do more with less. So our kids, they expect that. And that's a mindset. And I think culture is the biggest thing to shaping any organization. And that's just our culture. That's our DNA. So anything that goes against that doesn't make it here.
Right.
So you either comply. It's a dictatorship. And I'm just being honest. It's a dictatorship here. So it's one way.
Right.
And that's hard work. There's no, I've just never seen anybody be successful from cutting corners.
Right.
And we don't have the ability to cut a corner because we don't have those type of athletes to be able to cut corners. So we got to work every day to be the best version of ourselves.
Right. You say that cutting corners doesn't cut it at Hateville, but again, I look at you guys, and again, nobody's cutting corners, but you guys are kicking down the wall. So again, I'm again this just trying to process this in my head. Again, not a lot of numbers. Moved up in 4A to what 4-6A?
Yeah, it's class 4A. So region 6 is the region.
Yeah.
4A is the classification. That's about 1,500 population school.
Right, like that's my tongue tire. That's what has me tongue twisted. Small school, big things happening. Moved up, you still kicking walls down. Again, man, it has to be a hidden mystery or a secret, or you got a secret decoder ring in your pocket. Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out. How do you guys keep being so competitive when everything says that you should not be?
Yeah, I like I say, everything starts at the top. You have to be what you say you are. And I tell people all the time, the biggest thing in coaching is retention. So you want to keep that same message. So you want to keep the same people that preach the same message if you're getting it top down. And 3, you still want to grow those individuals too, because you want to be a person that builds capacity in people. You don't want to just be that person to slow another person's growth. So even as you build capacity within your staff, you constantly have to make sure you're bringing the next one up. So I constantly try to make sure that I put myself in a position to surround myself with men that could be head coaches. I don't want anybody on my staff that don't want to be a head coach. So you want a bunch of head coaches, and that's one way you drive that message, because everybody knows it's going to be one voice, regardless of whatever, so that same, it'll resonate throughout the program. And that's what we've been so fortunate to have. We hadn't always had the athletes to match that, but the mentality has never changed. So every year we're in the mix. Every year we're in the playoffs. Every year we're making a run, for a state championship. So as long as you can continue to do those type of things, then you're going to always see some type of fruits of the labor. So that's what we try to make sure we have when we open up the doors here every day at Hateville Charter. It's the same message. We do more with less.
I love that motto, man. As a middle school coach in the parish I lived in Louisiana, we were probably one of the most successful middle schools in that region, and they've always been really solid. I did a lot of echoing what the head coach key target words were. How much does what you guys do every day is based on the key target words that you say every single day, so that all the coaches are using the same terminology?
Yeah, I think that's key as well. You bring a valid point. Just like I told you, if you put the mantras in place, man, and those acronyms stay the same, I think you're headed for success. Sometimes a lot quicker than sooner in some seasons, but you just still have to stay with the grind every day of what you believe in. So you're right, one voice, one sound. We all preach the same thing, and those are the principles of our program. We're gonna fight, we're gonna be hard, and we're gonna be physical, and we're gonna fly around, and we're gonna practice like we play. So if you don't come out and simulate It's just like teaching. You can't go in the classroom and tell a teacher that you want her to differentiate a lesson if you can't model the behavior. You got to be able to model those things in order what you want somebody else to do. So we try to model those things for these children in this age, and because this is the show me, these are show me kids.
That's right. That's right.
They're a little different than when we were growing up. So you have to adjust and be able to teach at whatever level that kid is at. And so it's the same thing in football. You're a teacher. So you're teaching constantly. So we constantly try to reiterate our learning, check for understanding, and then go and play the game on Friday. It's the same thing. You laying it out. You giving them homework. We're getting ready to take a test. The test is Friday or Thursday. So, then you'll see. But before every test, you check for understanding. So you ensure that you know what you need to do whenever it's time to take the test. So that's how we approach our practices. That's how we do different things. You were there yesterday. You saw double team block. So we're looking at how to split the double team, how to take it at its weakest point, how to always shoot our hands when we come out of our stance. We're constantly teaching so that they get that behavior and try to model that behavior that they know every day. And it's EDDs, everyday drills. Those are things we do every day. Right. So you have to make sure you do those things constantly and be consistent about what you do.
I've seen a lot of practices across the state of Louisiana. As a media guy, I'm one of those guys that I love to see how practices go, how they're ran, how organized they are. And what I always like to talk to coaches about, because I think this is the missing factor, especially in some of the smaller schools that don't have the numbers of 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", 350, 355, 375 offensive linemen that have good feet, but you have 5'5", 5'7", 5'9", 245, 255, 65 guys that are playing on the offensive line in the trenches. Well, if they're not taught precise skill set on how to blocking and about how, such a horrible word I'm about to use, but cheat in blocking, like you're in the stands, but you got your hand that's not in the dirt resting on your knee instead of having it up at a height to where when you bring your hand up out of the dirt, all it is your drive side hand you get to slow him down with, and then the free hand you can jab him and drive him with to throw him off his course. Like those little things, along with making sure that they understand what footwork they need to use depending on what the defensive tackle or the defensive end or the edge rushers or the inside backers are doing, what movements they make. It's a reaction to every action, of course, to every reforce. So those are the things that I think at a lot of schools that have exceptionally great skill set players, but they're not successful, it's because their linemen don't know how to block in the trenches. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it started up front both ways. You're right. Yesterday happened to be a defensive emphasis. As you see, those are the things we do. Every day we're going to one-on-one pass pro. Every day we're gonna come out there. You can put anybody in the hand and show force to move someone if you fire off the ball. But to pass it, to be able to pass block, is a skill. So in order to do that, it's just repetition. It's just like doing homework. So you constantly have to do that. That has to be an EDD, every day. That got to be an everyday drill. So we one-on-one pass pro. We double team block every day on defense. We do start stance. We pursue every day. Those are things that we just do. Every day we want to see 11 men around the ball. If we don't see 11, when we look at them, we grade out. That's a failing grade. So when you come back in, those are gases. So you got to put that in your children's head and your players' head and your coach's head that, those are loafs. So we got to make sure every time that we're looking, we see 11 men in the frame every time. Even at free safety, that we want 11 men around the ball every time. So we all rallying every time to get to that play.
I agree with that, man. If you got 11 guys ushering themselves to the ball all the time, then what what's that saying? Now we're cooking with grease.
Right.
I'm trying to look up. I'm trying to look up something real quick, Coach. Can you bear with me?
Yeah, go ahead.
This Thursday night, you guys catch Newton on the road. The following week, Lee County. Following week after that, I'm gonna need a birthday victory for Pebblebrook. Doherty, Carver, Columbus, Stevenson, Southwest DeKalb, Westminster, Miller Grove, Holy Innocents. We're going to talk about the schedule, but first, I want you to real quickly give us some insight on the guys that make Hayville Hornets football go.
This year, our two leaders are Errol Hilton and Derek Maxey. I think they are the motors that make it go. As you saw, we got 4 quarterbacks. Everybody got a different, skill set and attribute at every grade level: senior, junior, sophomore, and freshman. All of them contribute. We played all of them in the first scrimmage game. All of them scored touchdowns. So, at what I look for as a coach is how the team moves and how that person moves the team. So I look at those two catalysts. Derek Maxey came in one play and caught a tunnel screen and set the tone to get the team rolling. Errol Hill makes a big hit on defense and gets everybody going. So those senior and captains are two guys I think that are a strong point for us. And they are some of the engine that drives our train. And so, as the offensive line goes, they're mostly seniors. So that's another thing. If you're only good as you are up front. So if we move people and we make the necessary blocks and the quarterback make the necessary throws, we'll go. So I think those things are all important, but I do think the heartbeats of what we do are the two defensive guys and Derek Maxey, who's a two-way player, that he kind of drives what we do.
When you have 3 or your 4 guys that right now can go probably to any high school in the Atlanta metro region and be a starter, but they choose to stay patient, be patient, compete. Keyword compete, because that's just who Hateville is. Yeah. In the 2 years I've been a big fan of Hateville's, everything about what you guys do says you must compete in order to get on the field. What kind of discussions do yourself, your OC, and your quarterback coach, who looks like he can pad up and play right now today? What are those conversations like when you got 3 guys that can be a starter right now?
Well, I mean, you just have to be realistic. The one that moves the team, that'll take care of itself. You just give the opportunities as the opportunities present themselves. And, we don't get caught into, any hype of anything. And some of them may be more recruited because of measurables than the other one. But that doesn't mean that they drive that engine right. And like I tell kids, we handle it just like it would be in college, You're going to get an opportunity to compete every day.
Right.
And, the one thing about college is it's financially based. So if you're not doing what they think you should do, then they're gonna move on to the next guy.
Right.
And some people say it's politics, but I tell people it's money. Because if you're not winning, you don't have time now with the type of money that's being paid in college to make any mistakes. So your QB position can get you hired and fired. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the one position that you have to get right. And luckily in high school, we have a little bit more time to do things and to figure it out.
Right.
And nobody's going to be hanging over us whether we win, lose, or draw. So it's a little different for us, and that's how we approach it. So, we won't know until we get ready to go into region play, really. And we still may use multiple quarterbacks even after that. You just, you got to see what works for the team, how they respond to certain things, and just do what's best for our team.
I know one thing for certain and two things for damn sure, and that's having three guys that can start on day one is a great problem to have.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great problem to have. I didn't get to talk to him yesterday, but I promise I'm coming today, probably shortly, because I need to come and see my dad again. Today, I like this kind of crazy time, so I'm trying to give him as much time as free time as I have.
Gotcha.
And where he lives in, where you're located is 3 minutes away. So I want to come and see. Look, I'm calling him my quarterback, so he don't belong to you no more. I just, man, I like the big quarterback that can stand in the pocket, get a great overview of the field, and then make a little drop pass.
Yeah.
You think I'm going deep hit right here? Bam. So that's really fun for me, man. I got one more really important question for you, Coach, and I'm gonna defer all my other questions to the pregame football pregame Thursday.
Gotcha.
I'll defer across the world in college athletics. We've always heard about guys getting the bag under the table. Then they did the right thing. College football did the right thing, and then high schools in some states followed by allowing student athletes to be able to infer NIL payments, name, image, likeness payments.
Yeah.
How has that affected the state of Georgia, if any, in gaining, losing, kids thinking more of themselves than they ought to because maybe they got an NIL deal? What's that been like for the state of Georgia?
I think it's business as usual for us here in the state of Georgia. It doesn't. I don't think it's applicable to high school as much here because that's not an issue. The name and likeness deals for high school students here, so that doesn't apply to us. It may be of some impact to the University of Georgia in reference to how they recruit, and Georgia Tech and Georgia State, Kennesaw, and all those guys, but that's not a real big issue for us per se. And I do think the kids should have an opportunity to benefit from the likeness. I don't have a problem with that. I do think it needs to be some more parameters put around it. I like what SMU did with the entire team, everybody making $35,000. It's a net $3.5 million that's raised every year, and put these super house, to house the money in to get those collective groups together to do that with their rich base alumni. A lot of those oil guys graduated from SMU, and I think it was genius. I think LSU now has an NLI office inside of their athletics now. So
Wow.
everybody has shifted to be ahead of that. You got the young girl from Georgia, the Savannah area, that's a big time point guard. She's a rapper. Dad was a famous rapper that got killed. She's going to LSU next year. Fly J, I forgot her last name, but Fly J.
Kim Mulkey don't be playing around, man. She go find them.
Right. She's a McDonald's All-American, and she got some. I think she already working an NIL deal, and so it's all. I'm happy for those kids.
Man, so Kim Mulkey is bringing in the #1 player from the state of Louisiana, and Markayla Williams, USA Women's National Team captain and double gold medalist, and the #1 player from Georgia.
Yep. She got
it. Man, that's when that's when the pot of gold is overflowing.
She gonna do what she did 3 times there that she was able to do in Baylor.
Right. The money is different.
Right. Right. So you talking about a person that was able to do that at Baylor, it's going to look like it's on steroids at LSU.
Right. So, the money just different. And then, she's a homegrown coach. Like I remember as a little boy, I was a big Leon Barmore, Louisiana Tech, Lady Texas fan, Kim Mulkey, Spoon, and all those chicks, man, they were better than the boys.
Yeah.
They were just split. I believe they could have beat any boys team.
Right. I agree.
So, she knows what it is competing to win. Winners and cream always rise to the top, man. That's Kim Mulkey. That's Winston Gordon. That's a lot of people that do the work, and you guys have done the work, man. And we appreciate you all for the work you've done in this game of not only advancing athletes, but making sure that young men and young women have great character role models to follow. And I know some of y'all didn't ask to be role models. It's just who y'all became.
Right.
As y'all grew up as well.
Yeah.
Because sometimes who we think we're going to be and who we become are peaches and plums. Since I'm in Georgia, I had to use a peach reference.
Right.
So, hey, I'm gonna see you in a little bit, bro. I'm gonna see you in a little bit, man. It's always nice being able to have a football conversation with you. It's probably 30 more questions I could ask, but again, I'm trying to keep you guys in that 30-minute range. And if I can't ask enough quality questions in 30 minutes, I need to figure something else out.
Right.
So thank you, head coach Winston Gordon. Again, football isn't what you do, it's who you are. Yeah. It's what you've given your life to, and we're grateful to you for that. Thank you. Remember, get off the bench, get into the game.
All right.